In the headlines, art and craft producers appeal for greater support from local consumers. The Deputy Prime Minister highlights housing sector transformation under this Labour government. And the Prime Minister calls for a greater sense of gratitude this Christmas. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Get ready to open the best gifts with Flow this Christmas. Sign up for a new broadband or TV service with free installation. Or sign up for a broadband and TV bundle and get 40% off broadband for the first 2 months. Plus, get a chance to win a 55-inch smart TV, 1 year or 6 months of free service. Enjoy big-time entertainment and big speeds this Christmas with Flow. Terms and conditions apply. Visit discoverflow.co for more.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, local art and craft producers concerned over low levels of support from the public towards their trade. President of the Dominica Arts and Crafts Producers Association, DACPA, is Vanessa Winston. She urged Dominicans to show greater support for local products despite their price in an effort to give local goods greater recognition on the international stage. Winston was speaking to Channel 5 News during the 3-day Strictly Local Christmas Village, which ended on Friday.
Yes, you might say that the local things might be a little bit more expensive, but do consider the fact that our economy is different, you know, than the foreign. And then with the foreign agencies, they might be able to get their material, their raw materials easier than ours and everything. So yes, definitely, it will be a little bit more expensive than the foreign imported goods because they are mass produced items that have already established themselves, and we cannot just come and sprout out and compete with these international companies. But what we can do is elevate our people to the point where they can actually reach a platform that will level out with the international companies. But in order for us to get there, we need the support of the locals.
Winston, who has participated in several events such as these, said public support has increased over the years, but there is still room for a lot more improvement.
Well, generally, I really would like to see more persons appreciate the work of the local work that we have on island. Not just the artists, but we have persons in health and wellness and different local initiatives. And to be honest, I find that we have an appreciation for more of the foreign and the quick things than the local things. And what we as a community, Dominica is a very small community, and we need to support each other. We need to be like almost like the Jamaicans. You see, Jamaica support Jamaica no matter what. And that is one of the reasons that they have grown so much, is being able to appreciate. They put in themselves and their people first, and we need to be a little bit more proud of our people and proud of what they can do.
The first ever Strictly Local Christmas Village was organized by Dexia in association with local arts and crafts groups.
To be honest, it can be better. We do get a lot of local support because one of the things that most of our local craft vendors and producers, they tend to rely a lot on the local persons to support them, especially now. You know, we need more local support. It have not been as expected, and the appreciation, the real appreciation is not really there as, let's say, if we rate it 50%, you know, but we need people to really appreciate our work more and appreciate what is Dominican made.
The first ever strictly local Christmas village was organized by Dexia in association with local arts and crafts groups. In other news, 6 companies have been selected to participate in the first ever Business Christmas Tree Lighting Competition. We join Julian Morris for that story.
Executive Director of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, Lizra Fabian, says this event carded for Saturday will help foster better camaraderie among the business community.
We hope that this will also shed greater light on our business community, see some positive aspects, see the teamwork among our businesses, and just to bring more vibrancy and a community feel, because it's not just private sector, civil society, government. We want to show everyone that we can all work together. This is a collaboration between the private sector and the government for civil society. So we really hope that this will bring people together. It will help to unite us. It will help us to feel that this is a time of giving and sharing with everyone in Dominica.
Bunny's Cakes and Catering, Dominica Tours, Greens Wholesale, HH Wichita and Company Limited, National Bank of Dominica and the Protection One Inc. are the businesses participating in the event. Fabian says the response from the business community towards this project was remarkable and explained the format of Saturday's competition.
These businesses will be assembling from 6:30 on Saturday night, and they will receive their package, they will introduce their teams, and then from 7 o'clock sharp, the businesses will begin to design the trees. And at 8 o'clock sharp, everyone stops. We come down to 8 o'clock, and we light up all the trees. And the judges will be judging based on creativity, originality, teamwork, and adherence to the guidelines. So we have a team of 5 judges from various organizations in Dominica.
The hope is that the event becomes a regular feature on the Christmas calendar. Fabian says plans are already underway for next year's Business Christmas Tree Lighting Competition.
Next year, we are putting it at Resilience 2.0. So this year it's creative, and as we are moving to be a more climate resilient country, we want to encourage persons to look at trash, turn it into art, and design a Christmas tree from that. So we actually planning for next year. So everyone who wants to be involved, start thinking of how you can turn trash into art for a Christmas tree.
This inaugural event, organized by the DIC and the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, is being supported by the Ministry of Urban Renewal and the Ministry of Tourism and Culture.
In more top stories, Prime Minister Scarrett is calling for a greater sense of gratitude from Dominicans this Christmas season. Here again is Julian Morris.
The Prime Minister's call comes in light of progress which has been made towards the realization of government's goal to build 5,000 new homes. The homes, including those being constructed in Bellevue-Chopin and the Vacas constituency, are all going to be given to needy families at no cost to them. The Prime Minister spoke during the presentation of letters of commitment to over 30 families in Vacas who are down to receive new homes free of charge.
You have seen what the government has done in Bellevue-Chopin for the residents of Pilit-Savan, and a number of housing projects that are ongoing across Dominica. And I believe in the next 3 years or so, the government will be able to achieve that objective of building 5,000 homes for families in Dominica. And as Minister Austri indicated, these homes are going to be given to families at no cost to them. And it is something sometimes that people overlook, because as the country gets more developed, sometimes we take things more for granted. But one has to look at where we are today, just 15 months after the hurricane, and we look back on where Dominica was on the morning of the 19th of September 2017. We have to give God praises and thanks for what we have been able to achieve together as a country.
The Prime Minister noted that in the midst of all the challenges brought on by Hurricane Maria, government has continued to reach out and respond to the people's needs.
In any circumstance, having been impacted by a hurricane of that magnitude, with no revenue coming into the country for several months, but expenditure increasing, this government has not stopped not one social safety net program which was in existence at the time of the hurricane. As a matter of fact, between September of 2017 and December of 2018, we have paid out to our senior citizens, those who are receiving the 70 years and older allowance, alone $8.9 million. And not one of the young people of Dominica who were at school on the morning of the hurricane or the morning after the hurricane has had to drop out because the government has not paid their fees. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I approved over $4 million to be sent to 3 American universities just for 1 semester to pay the tuition fees for students studying in the schools. Our children across Dominica go on a bus, they sit, and they're dropped off right in front of the classroom at no cost to their parents. But the government has to find the money to pay the bus drivers. And those of us who attended PSS back in the 80s and the 70s would know of the struggles we had to go through to get to school, and even in recent times before we started the school transportation program. And you don't see this expenditure. It is not a road where you can see it, but this is a significant cost to the government.
Government provides transportation for thousands of students across the country on a daily basis. In his Independence Day address, the Prime Minister Minister for Finance, pledged to pay 40% of loan balances for students back home from studies overseas.
If you owe the bank $100,000 for a student loan, the government is paying $40,000 for you. At a time after the hurricane, we do not have oil, we do not have gold to sell in Dominica, we do not have no natural resources besides our people. And these things, and sometimes I hear people talk and say, well, is government supposed to do it? I ask them, well, why were not these things there before? How many of our children in Dominica dropped out of school because their parents couldn't pay the bus fare? How many children in Dominica, the bus driver said, you're not coming on my bus next month because your parents owe me for 3 months? People tend to forget these things, you know. We're doing these things because this government, this party I have the honor to lead, cares about people.
A possible solution has been floated in government's attempts to find suitable locations for housing needy families. Over 30 of the 79 approved homes for the Vieques constituency will be constructed in the first instance. Another 49 homes also approved are scheduled to be built in the course of the coming year.
But the challenge which some of the beneficiaries have is the issue of not having their land. So that's a challenge. And I'm saying to those of us who have extra lands in the village, those of us who live overseas and the lots are abandoned, sell it to the government, because we need to build homes for the people on safe lands. And if you're in America, you don't come back to Dominica, either you sell it to us or we'll compulsory acquire it for the people. Because there are too many abandoned lots in the villages, and people not there, and bush and grass and rats and cockroaches on those lots. So we will be moving to compulsory acquire some lots to put homes for these families who need these homes urgently. So, and of course we're seeking to buy some land in Carib, in Penville, to build some homes for the families there.
Building these homes means employment opportunities and increased economic activity for builders in the Vihigas constituency.
What we have done is that we have tried to use all of the available people who can build homes in the constituency. And we have tried to keep, so in Vihigas we use Vihigas contractors, in Penville we use Penville contractors, in Tibo we use Tibo contractors. I am saying to the contractors, you are building these homes for us here in the community. And therefore let us do it with pride as we have done before. Let us do it with quality work. Let us do it with love. And let us give the people a beautiful home that you can all be proud of, with a sense of pride to occupy it. So let us be diligent and so on. Let us not wash our tools at 2 o'clock when we can work until 7 at night.
Contractors have been warned that their future engagement will depend on the quality of their work. You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Stay connected and share your favorite holiday moments with Flow. Get the Alcatel A1 for $199 when you activate an extra-large prepaid combo plan, or the Samsung J4 for just $399 with a large postpaid plan, and get free talk evenings and weekends. Plus, get free WhatsApp on large and extra-large prepaid combo plans, and sign up for any new service for a chance to win cash or hampers every week. So make it Flow for everything mobile this Christmas. Terms and conditions apply. Visit discoverflow.co for more.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth, or call 445-5001, 275-5003 today.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evo.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
there's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evo.
Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister Reginald Austrie has highlighted what he says are significant developments in housing under the current Labour government. Here is Mr. Austrie addressing a ceremony this week where over 30 residents of the Vihigas constituency received letters of commitment for new homes.
When we got in, what did we meet? When we got into government, we met some 50 houses in Marigot, you can remember. That is the record of the government that was before us today. You cannot even find the foundation where those houses were, because sea blast eat all the iron. You can't even tell where those houses were. That is the legacy. That is what we met when we came into government. And we say we'll never make those mistakes again, ladies and gentlemen. We met housing mortgage interest at 10 to 12%. Half of you here couldn't go no bank. Your salary couldn't meet it. The little $1,000 you're making as a teacher and nurse or police, you couldn't go to no bank and secure a mortgage of $200,000 to build no house. The mortgage was just too high. And that is why a number of you should have built your houses 10, 15, 20 years ago, but no bank. You couldn't face no bank because you couldn't pay. The government, through its efforts, reduced mortgage interest rates at the Government Housing Loans Board to 4%. From 10 to 4%. At the Aid Bank, 5%. That is what we did under our Ministry of Housing program. That today any one of you, if you under any P, can go and ask the bank for a loan for you to build your house, and you might be considered favorably, because the interest rate means the lower the interest rate is the less the installment that you have to pay to the institution. That is what the government has done. That is the level to which we have taken housing development.
Dominica's Minister for Disaster Management, Joseph Isaac, says the country is well on course to becoming the first climate-resilient nation in the world. Isaac was speaking at the signing ceremony for a Japanese-funded rehabilitation project on 4 emergency shelters in the country. The minister says legislation is being put in place to guide Dominica's climate resilience efforts. He also reminded the public that certain measures in this vein will come into effect as early as 1st January 2019.
And as we say, it's a process. So we try to become that first climate resilient nation in the Caribbean. And we lead by example. You see that we have already taken steps in which we move on the plastic ban. And January 1st, 2019, it will be implemented in an aggressive way. We also have on the cards where people are working feverishly on legislation to deal with disaster management, and also a piece of legislation dealing with the protection of the environment.
Isaac reiterated that Dominica sits in a disaster zone and the government and the people must take action to protect themselves from the severe impact from disasters.
And I also used to say, and now I can say it again, that we are really in a disaster zone in regards to tropical storms, earthquake, potential flooding, and our country itself is every maybe couple miles we have volcanoes. So when I was away last week, I heard we had a major tremor, and that there is a potential threat. But we have to have the mindset that is a way of life for us. Disaster planning and preparation and risk mitigation is really a way of life.
On the topic of emergency shelters, the Disaster Management Minister informed the public that work on the first in a series of regional emergency shelters is scheduled to get underway soon.
At this point in time, as the Minister for Disaster Management, let me share with the wider Dominican public that plans are underway and also financial resources are already in place for us to build a number of regional hurricane shelters. The first one will start in Castle Bruce very soon.
And residents of the Viejas constituency have been challenged to prepare to actively participate in economic opportunities anticipated as hotel projects in the north of the island near completion. The Kempinski Resort will be completed by July 2019. It will officially open in November.
It is important for us in this constituency to place ourselves in a position to take advantage of the many opportunities, because permanent employment at the Kempinski alone will be about 400. And so we're going to need a lot of people to work at this hotel. That's one hotel. That's direct employment. The farmers, we must prepare ourselves to supply agricultural produce, chicken, eggs to the hotel. The fishermen must prepare ourselves to provide the fish. Those of us who have the knowledge of making craft, arts and craft, we have to go back and make these croupier crafts so that we can sell it to the tourists who will be coming. So we need to start positioning ourselves to take advantage of these opportunities.
To end the news, the headlines again. Art and craft producers appeal for greater support from local consumers. Deputy Prime Minister highlights housing sector transformation under the current Labour government. And the Prime Minister's Scarrett calls for a greater sense of gratitude this Christmas. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.